Welcome back to Beauty Marks Podcast, a space where we embrace our marks acquired through our journey. My name is Elizabeth Savillon, and welcome to another episode of this podcast. I'm at Hi Hello Labs in downtown Orlando in this beautiful new studio space, and I'm trying different backgrounds as you guys see over the videos. And if you aren't on YouTube, make sure to go over there to see and watch what is going on behind the scenes. I know some of you guys like listening, and it will always be available for you on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you stream. But make sure if you like watching and want to see the other things as we're talking, make sure to go to YouTube and subscribe. On today's episode, I have a special guest. He is an entrepreneur, and he is someone that is faith-based in Orlando, and he actually started his business 6 years ago, and he has been doing great things for others and in his community. And so we talk about leadership, we talk about mindset, we talk about just challenges being a young entrepreneur, and just things that like bring us joy and kind of like bring us purpose. And let's just get right into it. I have a special guest, Josiah Candelaria, and he is the owner of Purple Ocean Superfood Bar here in Orlando. And I'm really excited for this conversation. So welcome to Beauty Marks Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
How
it's
are
a
you
pleasure to be here with you. I've kind of followed you for a little bit, so I'm happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. I actually started going to Purple Ocean like back in like the start of it, when it was like, I'm not gonna say all the bloggers were there, but kind of like just because of the aesthetic and like it was super good. And so it's great to see like how it's grown and everything. How has your journey looked like?
Yeah, it's been a process. We started in 2016, as most of you may know, out of a food truck, and we started kind of in the UCF area. And yes, we did have a lot of bloggers come in. I think that's something that we really hit hard was aesthetics. And not only bringing, delicious food, tasting food, but also, some food that you can, or that would entice you to take some pictures of it. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. It's been 6 years so far. And from one truck to a few trucks and a few stores, there's definitely been some learning curves there, which I'm so grateful for.
Yeah. No, I mean, that strategy definitely worked. What are some passions that you have outside also of what you do?
So Purple Ocean Superfood Bar is tied along very closely to my personal passions. And the reason why I did that is because I want to bring purpose into Purple Ocean. And that's why we definitely collaborate with the community quite a bit. We do a lot of community service. We partner with nonprofits as well, like Soul Outreach, to be able to, facilitate either laundries to people that don't have access to that, or showers from their shower truck in downtown Orlando. So really my passion is people. It's always been my passion. And being in the service industry, it just jives. It makes sense. We get to see people every day, give great customer service, put a smile on their face with what we do. And again, tying that alongside community service is something that is really a passion and purpose in Purple Ocean.
Yeah. Are you naturally like a people person?
I am naturally a people's person. I think that's definitely a forte of mine. And it's been something that maybe God has blessed me with, and I've just hit the ground running with it. It's been great.
So I know that you've shared on other like platforms that you've done, is that wasn't kind of what you wanted to do fully, like having your own business and everything. So like, can you share what even got you started in that? Like, is that something that you've always been like since you were 15, that you're like, I want to have my own business?
Yeah.
Or how did you stumble across that?
Yeah, actually, it's always been a idea of mine to have my own business, just because I come from a line of entrepreneurs with my parents, and nothing crazy really that they built, but they definitely, worked on their own, worked for themselves, for their little small business. And that's something that I always saw and appreciated, and said, my dad always told me from an early age, like, listen, there's nothing better than working for yourself.
Yeah. And
I really took that to heart. And the first opportunity I had, that actually tasted an acai bowl in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when was that?
That was in 2014.
Okay.
2014, I tasted my first acai bowl. Then I kind of did a whole year of research after that in 2015, because I just fell in love with it so much that I saw an opportunity, because there was no acai in Orlando at that moment. And I just did a whole year of research. And then in 2016, I finally launched Purple Ocean.
Oh, wow.
Out of the food truck.
So that was like something that really sparked it when you actually went on.
Yeah. When I tasted my first acai bowl, I was my mind was blown.
You're like, everybody needs to have
I was like this. I was just, so blown away by the dish. Just because it's so refreshing. It was very trendy at the moment. It was very delicious, and to put it together really didn't take too much. And my eyes just
wow. That's
open
like
wide.
Not a lot of people's journey. That's always like something that they've like wanted to do, but it's like for you it was kind of like, this is what I have to do, like in that moment.
So the food truck scene always appealed to me though.
Okay.
That has always appealed to me. I've always liked eating out of food trucks, going to food truck rallies, seeing the different type of setups that they had.
Yeah.
So that was something that I really wanted to tap into, my creative side, just building something. And the food truck, just for whatever reason, really stood out to me at that moment. And apart from low overhead, and initial upfront cost to start a business, food truck is the way to go. So those two, went hand in hand for me to, make the decision.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that's probably now you see, like there's a lot of food truck events and everything like that. Or like whenever there's a big event, they have food trucks on the side. So I definitely see why it's like a great idea too. And how you were talking about entrepreneurship of your parents. So my parents are entrepreneurs as well. They're accountants. And I feel like that was always the push too. And maybe as like my parents didn't grow up with money. We didn't either. So like that opportunity of seeing them like expand and grow, which has been such a blessing, has inspired me as well to be like, okay, I need to be like my own boss and like have a flexible schedule, be able to do my own thing, but ultimately like still have passion and purpose behind what I do. Because it sounds like, even though yes, someone can say like, oh, he's a restaurant owner, but like your heart is still like people. Yeah.
100%.
So it's not just the business for you of like making money, which making money is great, but it's like, that's the,
but how beautiful it is to make money and be able to feed people. And not only, physically taking meals to them, but, giving people the opportunity to grow within the company, giving the opportunity of people to, make an income. And that's something that I take very, very seriously. I'm not only pushing to grow Purple Ocean because of my own personal aspirations, but really just to be able to give people the opportunity to, make a living, make some money, and also grow within the company, because we do a lot of leadership workshops actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to tap in very closely into there, because we want to be able to, because we have a lot of young people.
Okay, right? Like college or teenagers?
College, and even teenagers, even some high schoolers too. And we just see so much potential in them. And I know sometimes it gets hard working in the restaurant. It gets hot, you're doing a million orders at the same time. But ultimately we want to be able to inspire these people.
I love that.
And that's really our goal with Purple Ocean. And I think that's something that God has really blessed us in our growth, because we really care about more so the people in-house, our employees. And we're putting things in place to do more. We always want to do more.
Yeah.
Right? So that's really our challenge for this year is to do more and more and more.
Yeah. Just continue striving for that.
Yes.
No, but what you said is important. It's like when you're employees and like you create that atmosphere, like then you'll see the growth in them, and that helps your business.
Absolutely.
So ultimately, like companies that focus on their people, it's like that's the best route to go. And so for you, what has been your journey as like becoming a leader, becoming an entrepreneur? Because I know you're young. I mean, you don't have to say your age, but like I know you're young. So how has that looked like for you? Where have you learned like the skills that you have and the mindset that you have in regards to entrepreneurship or just like life?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that question because there hasn't really been. So I'm actually a college dropout. So I did not attend or finish college. I did attend college. I did not finish. I was a former athlete, student athlete. So unfortunately, I didn't finish. It's just not for me. But I learned so much from just observing people and putting myself in situations where I could really learn from other entrepreneurs. That has really helped me a whole lot. And of course, podcasts and just trying to really learn as much as you can about leadership. It's all about what you want to do. And if you want to become a great leader, there's tools out there for you to become a great leader. You just have to immerse yourself in taking initiative and being proactive. Being proactive.
Yeah. And also applying like what we hear. Because like a lot of people are like, there's so much information and it's like you take from here, but it's like, how does that apply to you and like what that life looks like that you want?
Actually, that's a great point that you mentioned, because a lot of people don't know how to apply it. The leadership skills maybe that they read or that they heard, and it's all about experience. So that's what I was kind of wanting to get into. And some people might call me crazy, but I put myself in some crazy situations. Being a young entrepreneur, sitting at a table with some old heads, you essentially not knowing much and having to defend yourself, in that caliber of a meeting and things like that. And those things have really elevated myself in my professional career, and I would encourage everybody to do the same. Just put yourself in some uncomfortable situations. You're gonna have to grow regardless.
And I think that is true when you're like the youngest or like you're a newbie. Like people look at you like, oh, like they don't know. They have years of experience.
I'm okay though. I like to be underestimated.
No, it's the best place to be. It's better to be on that side of the table.
Definitely.
But I definitely know that a lot of people get intimidated because they're like, so I know that some people get told like you don't act your age or whatever. Like that can be like a really good thing, like in a lot of areas, because it's like you don't have to downplay yourself because of your age, because of like how people see you experience. Like someone coming into a company can still be a great valuable asset or like an addition. So it's like knowing your worth too, and knowing like what you bring to the table, which that goes with like mindset and the way that we see ourselves. Because ultimately, like, yes, we have some skills and experiences, but we're always learning, and also like God with us. Like it's like a quote that I saw that I was like, walk into the room like God sent you there, and He has like a place for you. So it's like
walk in there like you own the place. Obviously with humility. But yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer in that, and that's why within our company, if you want to grow, just show us. Show us that you want to be there. Show us that you want to grow. Show us your skills, and that's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah. And what are some challenges that you've faced with your own business, and what are things that you're learning from that?
Everything. Everything is a challenge. Everything is a challenge, especially for small businesses. We didn't buy a franchise. I started this from the ground up, and then that brings a lot of challenges. And but again, we're grateful for the challenges. It's what makes us grow. But I would say one of the biggest challenges for me has been maybe on the admin side and the administrative side. There's a lot of nooks and crannies in there, a lot of detail oriented stuff that you definitely need a team behind you. And that's one thing that I wanted to say actually on this podcast is a lot of people, they believe that maybe they could do it by themselves, but I'm going to tell you, you definitely need a strong team behind you to be able to continue to grow. And I've got a great team. I definitely have a great team. So I'm very, very blessed and thankful for that.
That's great, because it's true. It's like you can go far yourself, but you can go way farther and impact so many more people.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we want to be like the main person. Like when you look at a business, you're like, I want to be the face. And it's like, I feel like, no, like it's like ultimately you can like build someone that you can build something that people believe in your vision so much that it's like, who's the person? Like it's like because everyone's so passionate and loves what they do.
Absolutely.
And that's sometimes like how you said, through experience and learning. Because I feel like when I was younger, because people would look at me because I was very young and I was in positions of like, kind of a leadership.
Leadership
and then
positions at a young age.
But you're younger than me, and like you're telling me, and then I realized I'm like, okay, like I have to learn certain things, and I have to see like how I can build and like still be humble and still, and that shaped me. That helped me to like shift my mindset of being like, okay, I have to be up here, where it's like, how can we all work together, or like showing it first before people follow.
That's a true leader.
Yeah.
That's a true leader, to be able to immerse yourself with your team and feel locked in and feel one.
Yeah.
And don't feel per se in the team effort that you're elevated, you know, that you're part of them is very pinnacle to a good leader.
Yeah.
And that's something that I work along closely with HR. I have an HR manager, Shay. She's great. We and alongside my regional, we kind of brainstorm and we kind of have some like one-on-ones with our managers, just HR related stuff, you know, attitude at work, how to interact with people, how to diffuse situations. And that's like an ongoing training. And that's something that I think a lot of small businesses lack with customer service. So that's also another thing that we've kind of been pushing very intensely on. And that's part of like kind of like the leadership stuff that I was telling you about.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that you guys are doing that. And it seems like how you say, like the way that you talk about your team, it's like you can count on them, you can rely on them. And it takes a lot to build. So who have been your core people that kind of push you? And
so we're definitely a family-owned business. So my team consists of my HR manager, my regional manager, and my few other store managers, and we're all family. So you know, my sister, she's part of the team. So I have an aunt also that is part of the team. So it's been a beautiful thing to be able to work with them, and that is really what has kind of solidified the strength of our team. Is really our confidence in each other, since you know we're family. And actually a lot of people would say stay away from it.
Yeah, because it's like complicated. Like
it gets a little complicated. But my dynamic with my family has been so open as far as communication goes, and we believe in our brand and in our vision and in our purpose so much that there's really nothing that can pull us apart from really where we're trying to head all together. And that's something that is so important with a business in general, to be able to have your leadership team all in one mindset moving forward.
Yeah. And like I love that they believe in you a lot, you know, because not everybody has that, you know, to be like that they support whatever you do, and they can also like call you out on stuff or like tell you like
there's been plenty of that stuff.
Because there's
it's
no
great.
like filter
I love it.
a little bit.
I love it.
What are like for someone that maybe is working with their family, because I know my younger sister actually works with my parents. I was working with them for a while, but not right now. And that was something that a lot of people ask, like, how do you have boundaries like between that? What has worked for you guys?
Really, I think it's more of the relationship we built before we even started. So it was more on the base and the foundation and the respect before we even got started in this journey. I think it's something that's huge that people don't see, and that I can't really even touch on that much, because it's stuff that is very personal to our family. But again, I'm just very, very thankful that it's them. And the way we set boundaries is very simple. Work is work, and family stuff is family stuff, and that's really it. You know, black and white, and then whatever happens at work, and we just move forward.
That's good though. That is a boundary to be able to be like, okay, we're just having a family dinner. This is not like a work meeting that we'll schedule for that.
Sometimes, you know, I know. Sometimes, you know, dinner will kind of, you know, turn into some work meetings. But I mean, we've definitely strayed away from mixing the two, even at the dinner table.
No, that's so good.
Keeps the stress level down, you know.
A little bit, And there's usually that one person that tries to be like, all right, guys, let's get it. I remember that was something that it was like when I was working with my parents, and it's like I live with them. It was like that balance of like, okay, you know, I'm like making my coffee, and then it's like they're talking about something, and I'm like, not right now. We'll talk.
I'm actually doing better with it now. Before it was
a struggle. Thanks for your honesty.
Yes, it was. I mean, being a young entrepreneur and having built something from the ground up, I'm still very passionate about it. Don't get me wrong. It's just I know my boundaries now. I know my boundaries now.
What has changed with your mindset, maybe from when you first started and until now?
Take your time. Before it was go. Now it's, I've transitioned into a more wiser entrepreneur in that sense.
Yeah.
And just taking my time with some decisions and not really rushing into moving things around, or even thinking about the open door that just, landed on my desk a little bit more intensely. And I think before, though, the way that I was necessary to push and grow. But I think in the season that Purple Ocean is now, there's definitely some more patience behind it, and some wiser decision making for sure, moving forward. So I would say that's the main thing as far as my mindset that has changed from the jump in 2016 to now.
Because in the beginning you were just trying to make it happen, and you're like,
in the beginning it was
there was no.
Yeah, whatever open door, I'm running right through it.
Yeah. I heard in one of the podcasts that you did that it's like you would like show up all the time for an opportunity. So you'd be like knocking. You're like, am I annoying? I'm gonna be annoying.
Oh, I was
to get the door
annoying.
open.
And whoever's watching this podcast, I'm sorry if I've maybe annoyed you or hounded you a little bit too much.
But it's guiding you.
But that's the hustle. So I mean, I'm sure you guys appreciate the hustle. So thank you.
Yeah. No, that's a really good thing because sometimes it's like you need in a season you need to be a certain way, but then it shifts.
Absolutely.
So what is your why behind what you do? And like what keeps you going?
Definitely, what keeps me going is my faith in Christ. Obviously, we know that. Whatever happens in life, everything happens for a purpose, and regardless of what obstacles I may run into, building a business or just in general, I understand that there's purpose behind it. And my why to keep going is that I understand that there's a purpose. There's something bigger than serving an acai bowl. I really want to make an impact. That is my goal. That is my why. That is my driving force. Is I do want to make an impact.
And what has been the most rewarding part so far, then, of what you've done?
The most rewarding part has been really a culmination of everything, really. Just being able to build a business, and, again, being able to feed people and giving them the opportunity to work. That's number one. And number two, being able to service the community. It was something that I did when I was in a secular job, and I didn't have my business, and it only made sense to really hit it hard, and not only me do it, but also involve the rest of the team and what it is to do community service. And that's been very rewarding.
Yeah.
Just because it's not even about anything besides seeing a smile on their face, and being able to help them get out of their situation and into a better one. And that's always so rewarding.
You do. I see that you guys do a lot of initiatives and all of that. How was your surf?
It was great, actually. Yeah, we haven't talked about that event here on this podcast, but it's called Cross Waves. We do it twice a year, and we partner with them, and they're a nonprofit, and it's also Christian based.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll go out to Bethune Beach. It's about an hour away. And we'll teach young kids how to surf, and also we'll bring it back to the Word of Christ, and we'll at the end have a little preaching, and we'll go over the board, the pieces of the board, and how that's related to your life. And it was a beautiful thing. I mean, I think we had like almost 40 kids.
Oh, wow. And you were teaching them as well? Are you a surfer?
Yeah. Okay. So we jumped in the water with them, my uncle, my cousin, myself, alongside some other people from the team. And then, of course, everybody from Cross Waves. So we were just kind of catching kids, throwing kids on the board. Yeah.
It looks a little hard to do, but I'm guessing with practice.
Yeah, with practice. Yeah, definitely. But it's so much fun. It's almost like, you get on your first wave, and that's really it for people. It's kind of like an addiction type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love that event, and we do it twice a year. So yeah,
Mhm.
whoever's watching the podcast or listening to the
Mhm.
podcast, or if you want to join us and maybe get your hands to working for these young kids, we would
Mhm.
love to have you guys.
I love that. And I
Hmm.
love the initiative behind it because it's
Yeah.
true. It's like you can, your heart still is to serve people and to help. And then
Hmm.
like the initiative of bringing them together and teaching them and showing them, like giving them hope in life.
Definitely.
Like, and sometimes like when we're in the hustle or like busy, like I don't know about you, but I have
Hmm.
had moments in my life where I've kind of like been like just feeling exhausted, feeling like I'm
Yeah.
doing it on my own strength.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, like, where's my center again? Like,
Yeah.
I know that this is not just for me.
Hmm.
And so it's like God like pulling me back in to
Yeah.
be like, let's
Yeah.
go back to
Yeah,
like what you're
pulling
doing.
you in, starting from your mindset,
Yeah.
shift your mindset, and then man, has he done some crazy stuff though? Let me
Yeah.
tell you. In the moment where you need something, it's just boop, there it is. And shifting your mindset gives him, in my opinion, the ability to understand you want some help, I got you. And he'll maybe bring some people your way that will help elevate you in whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah. He's like waiting for us.
Yeah,
He's like there.
yeah.
Like we think
He's
that
there.
he's
He's
like
there. He's just like there.
he's like,
Yeah.
my child. Look at going in circles.
Sí.
That's how, like I talk to God like that.
Sí.
I'm like, ay Dios,
Sí.
I'm sorry. It's me
Sí.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love that though.
And he loves it too.
Yes.
He loves it too.
Yes, I know. I feel like the way that I see God is like he has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And so I don't think of him as like a super like judgy like God kind of thing. I'm like, I know he's personal and like he gets it, And you're opening a location right next to the truck, right?
Yeah, so we're opening up a few locations. I don't want to say anything yet but
confidential.
but if you follow us on Instagram, it's Purple Ocean Superfood Bar all together. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, the whole thing. We'll be throwing some info on there when we've got news about our new stuff. So
yes, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I feel like I started off going to the food truck, but now Water for Lakes.
Yeah,
and then depending on like where I'm at and stuff, I'm like, oh, gonna go there.
Yeah, definitely. And as you may know, we started just with the acai bowls.
Yes.
And now we've expanded into some hot food.
Yes.
It's been about 2 years that we've done that.
And what do you have for hot food?
Yeah, so we have vegan burgers. We have like loaded fries. We have yuca fries. We have some loaded tostones too. Those are very good. I just brought on a pechu sandwich. Everything is vegan, by the way, 100%, from the bun to the cheese to the protein, even to our house sauces. We do everything in house, so they're all vegan as well. And we decided to expand into some hot food just because we wanted to create some traffic in the afternoon. And I was very adamant about still continuing to mesh the Puerto Rican culture into Purple Ocean Superfood Bar. So our burgers have like tostones and maduros inside. And we also do fritura like alcapurria and empanadilla de pastelón.
Wow.
And stuff like that. So todo muy rico, me encanta. Y sí.
What's your favorite menu item?
I'm like a season. So of course, having started the business, like acai bowls were, is my thing always. But I've kind of transitioned into smoothies. So I've like been hitting the smoothies really hard.
Like at your location?
Yeah. So like I'll just do a smoothie. I'll probably get a smoothie every day.
Okay.
And then as far as the hot food, I'm just stuck on the Dome's burger.
That's your go-to?
I'm stuck.
Is it like a special way to make it that you would recommend someone to order it?
So everything on the menu is the way I would make it.
Okay.
So I would not change a thing on there.
Okay.
But I've definitely got a problem.
Your obsession?
Yeah, I've got a problem.
You're like my go-to.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you work there, I'm guessing, do you like also eat out other places?
So I don't get bored from it.
Okay.
It's weird.
That's a good thing.
And if I might feel like I want to change, I'll just end up like choosing something else. Like the flamenco with peanut butter was just my go-to, and now it's the acai smoothie with peanut butter.
Smoothie with peanut butter, like almond butter or peanut butter?
Peanut butter.
Okay.
I could do almond butter all day though.
Yeah, I have mine with almond butter, mango, strawberry. banana. I think that's the one that I get.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then I add the stuff.
Gotcha.
So I substitute. But
okay.
That's great. I definitely feel like the food is super good. Definitely, you guys have to try it. And then also with the food menu items, I love how like you incorporate the Puerto Rican culture and just like the food, and like I feel like it's authentic, you know. And are you vegan, or was that vegan push?
So I was vegan for a long time. I have more of a balanced diet now.
Okay.
But definitely, I was vegan for 3 years.
Okay.
And it was quite a journey actually to do that. And at first it actually started just because I wanted to know if I could do it.
Okay, like a challenge for yourself.
It was a challenge for myself. And I fell in love with you know, that lifestyle, and I felt great. And now me continuing my entrepreneurial process, being in year 6 of a restaurant tour, I decided to expand my palate a little bit. I've been traveling a little bit now, so I've been tasting different dishes, and I'm kind of in more of like an experimental phase right now. So I'm definitely I'm having all types of food right now.
Okay. Yeah.
The whole thing.
What are your thoughts on like restaurants when they're like a vibe but the food sucks? Because I feel like there's a lot of those.
Yeah, I would say you need to have the best of both.
Is it hard though to have the best of both? Because I'm not on that side. So
It's not. It just takes work.
Okay.
And you know, as far as maybe Orlando kind of gets the short end of the stick here, because we've got a lot of chain restaurants. So I almost feel like maybe some entrepreneurs want to come here and buy franchises, and put them up. So they don't really have any like really restaurant experience as far as, you know, plating or putting foods together, maybe putting a menu together. A lot of the times they'll hire people to do that, but as you can see, you even feel the difference when there's actually like purpose and love behind even creating the menu. Yeah. And I think people, you know, some businesses like that. But I'm so excited for what, you know, Orlando has in the future, because let me tell you, there's some bright entrepreneurs here that I've had the opportunity to meet, and restaurant tours at that. And Orlando's been growing. Yeah. And it's going to continue to grow. And you're going to start to see different, you know, culinary restaurants and themes being put up. And it's just going to help everybody elevate their game. Yeah. Here in Orlando.
I love that. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I definitely am always like with my friends, I'm like, okay, we got to go there. We got to
Yeah. So and then when stuff starts popping up, you know, it just kind of, you know, gets living here a little bit more exciting. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You've lived here for a while, right? I have. Yeah, I came from Puerto Rico at an early age here to Orlando. So I basically grew up here. And what I love about Florida is I've come from Puerto Rico, and haven't felt any cultural change at all. And that's why I love Florida so much. Is because you can come from a Hispanic or Latino region or place or community and feel right at home here. Yeah. And that's what I love about Florida. And the reason why I'm so in tune with that sentiment is because I was actually just down in Miami, and we were shooting for a water company. Alongside Purple Ocean. We did like a collaborative commercial, which that will be releasing soon. So I'm very excited for that. But their campaign was tied very closely to the Hispanic Latino community, and very, of course, closely tied to Florida. And I just kind of had all those emotions y sentimientos, como que todo junto a la vez, y estoy bien agradecido de estar en el estado de la Florida. Definitivamente. Great. No, it's a blessing to see like that Latinos can be successful here, like no matter where you come from. I was raised like in Oklahoma, where there was not that many Latinos. So then when I came here, it was amazing to see, even though everyone like assumes like talking to you in Spanish and everything, like that pushed me, because I had lost speaking Spanish for like a few years. I see. And so I came here. It's kind of brought you back to your roots. Yes. Cool. It was like, oh, I'm Latina. Wait, like it was a weird thing. But if you've lived outside of Florida, you kind of know that it's like anywhere outside of here, it's not as like the culture of Latino and like I wouldn't say the pride, but just like being so
proud of where you come from, you know? And I feel like here it's brought it back, and it's just like, even in Miami, like, absolutely.
Yeah,
you know,
Florida,
you feel,
Miami, even, you know, of course, even New York and stuff like that. But there's only a handful of states that, you know, we can say that about, for sure.
No, seriously. But I love that. I love to see like Latinos win, and like us continue to like grow and like leave a legacy, you know, our own, with starting a business or nonprofit, whatever that is.
And we should stick together.
Yeah.
We should stick together, you know, and that's something that I think we say it a lot, but I don't think we do it enough. And I think it's imperative that we stick together and that we collaborate, because that is the new currency right now. That is how you grow, is you collaborate with like-minded businesses and like-minded people, and really just push stuff on social media. So I encourage everybody to really work together. And if there's anything that I can do for anybody on the other side of this screen, that would be mutually beneficial, I would love to be able to connect with you guys and see what we can get working on.
I love that. You heard it first that he's saying. I'll put all his contact info.
Yeah, DM Purple Ocean, please. I would love to work with you guys.
I love
that. Even just influencers or bloggers or people that are just maybe are in a specific niche market that kind of want to break away and maybe expand their footprint. We would love to.
That's great. I love that advice. So last thing is, what encouragement do you have for someone that's maybe, you know, in navigating their adulthood?
Their young entrepreneur life.
Yeah. Or even just trying to figure out what they want to do. Because I feel like there's a lot of people.
Yeah. I would say you need to find your purpose first. Figure out your personal purpose, and then tie that along to your business or whatever business you would like to create. And that's, I think, one of the main advices that I can give you. There's so many other things along, you know, that with being patient and
well, that's a hard one though.
Being honestly, patience is a tough one. It's a tough one, and but just be disciplined. Discipline goes a long way. Like we were talking before, you know, there was maybe some people that found me annoying because I would just knock on their door constantly, and that's just part of the discipline. Just part of the discipline, you know. Go out, find work, find opportunities, and if I didn't keep pressing, you know, then maybe we would have a different story. So I would just, again, encourage everybody to be disciplined, find your purpose first, and then just don't stop. Just don't stop.
That's so good. No, I love that. And I think that we all, in whatever you're doing, even if you're not an entrepreneur, you have those days of challenges, or like where your goal is, and you're like, man, like I'm still on stage 1, but it's like a year from now, 2 years from now, like time is going to still pass.
Oh yeah, that's not stopping.
And it's like, you want to be able to say like, man, I'm so glad that I like did it. You know, I kept going. I like went, and like that is powerful, you know? So I always like to ask the guest also, what would your younger self say about you if they saw you now?
My younger self? Wow, that's a great question. Maybe that's something I need to think about a little bit more. So my younger self, if he saw me now,
or what advice or would you give, or what would you give
to my younger self?
Yeah, either or. Like you can think about it.
Either or. Yeah. Calm down. Yo, relax. You know, like the storyline is built. It's already put together. God's got it for you. Execute it. But just don't put so much pressure on yourself. I think there was a time where early on, which I'm sure a lot of young entrepreneurs can attest to this, you start to question a lot of things, because from a vision to seeing it put together to now operating it, and then being in maybe your first year and a half, nobody knew what Acai was. We were basically educating everybody, you know, and then the real challenge was being a food truck at food truck events that are typically from like 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. serving a mid-morning dish at that time.
So you're trying to convince them why they should.
And convince them to pay $10 for a bowl of fruit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there were definitely lots of challenges there. And there came to a point where there was a lot of pressure on myself, whether I wanted to continue or not. Imagine that.
Wow.
Looking back at that now, you know, being 6 years into it, that was, I was at a crossroads at that moment. And what I would say to my younger self is just trust in the process and relax and calm down. Because those times are really stressful. Yeah. And now we have new stresses, right? Like now it's just, you know, it's growing pains. You know, the more you grow, the more problems you're going to have. It's all about, you know, putting those fires out. So now it's a different stress, but it's not a question of, do I want to continue? It's how are we going to continue at this point? Yeah.
Well, that's good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I know that you encourage someone with that. And even like through your story, and I know it's like a little part of it, but I feel like all of us have a story, and it's like to see like the inside, because it's like someone can be like, wow, it's so successful, but it's like they're still human, and you know,
there's so many challenges to being an entrepreneur, and the biggest challenges are yet to come. Yeah. And that's also a mindset, right? Because if you think things are going to get easier, it might be a tough road for you. But once you understand that challenges are just going to continue and get a little bit bigger, as you go, it's not as intimidating once you're there. Yeah. Once you're there.
Because you also have the experience and maybe the tools or the people now that can kind of help guide, or maybe sometimes we don't know still what we're gonna get.
Maybe at that moment you won't have a team, but your mindset will be all right. You know, it's not about looking back or looking down. It's about looking forward and okay, what can we do? Yeah, what can we do now?
That's good.
So
no, thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for being on the podcast. I'm so excited we got to do this. And where can people connect with you and see all that you guys are doing and check out a location?
Yeah, absolutely. So you could follow us on Purple Ocean Superfood Bar altogether. Instagram and Facebook is the same tag. We also have our website, www.purpleoceansfb.com. You can navigate that. I also have the ordering online links for all of our locations on there as well.
I will put all his information below, and I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely got something out of it, so I thank you for your time, and also for you guys. If you got to tune in and listen to the whole way out, make sure to share it with a friend, and let us know what you loved about this episode below. And also make sure to subscribe to this podcast to help this podcast grow, and I will see you guys next week.